We have rented out the ground floor at £25,000 and there is 2-bedroom flat on the top. Converted that to student accommodation. As of now, bringing around £1,200 from there per month. Who would like to have 758% of return? This is the platform to come, guys, and we are all having over here. Maybe it's now our time to spread the news to other people saying, come down, that's what it can do for us. I have rented out the ground floor in £25,000 per year. And I have rented out the flat on the top in £1,200 pounds per month, which is almost £14,400 per month.
So our next case study, I know you're going to love this, really inspirational, is please put your hands together to help me welcome Santosh Kumar.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Simon. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Oh, not our energy. Good morning, guys. Let me start again. Good morning. Good morning. Great. Who has got driving license? Wow. Who does not have driving license? Well, one person. Great. Okay. So guys, the reason I asked for the driving license is because when we are driving in the auto mode, after a period of time, an exception to you, probably you will realize that, but when we start driving, we are very conscious of the road. We are very conscious of what we are doing. But a time comes when we become unconscious. And we kind of automatically drive. It becomes our habit. It becomes a part of our life. And we start looking into this. Before coming to property, I was the same. I have never taken the property as a business. I was taking like a hobby. It was like a habit. And what happens in those cases, when we are driving through, sometimes we are habitual enough and we know the roads very nicely. I'm sharing my personal story over here. What you do is you go through the road, which is 70 miles, and suddenly some 50 miles comes in the middle. And now you have not thought of that and you get a ticket. Now you have to think, who have got the tickets while you are driving? Yeah, we have got few people in the room. So you get the ticket, and what happens then? Oh my God, this is a mistake. I should have looked at that. Similar was my story about the property. I was making a huge mistake, which I was thinking probably I was doing great. And this program and Simon and the team, they helped me realize what a great mistake I was making over there. And great in not sense, something very exciting, but foolishness-wise over here. So I'll probably come back to that, but who am I? I am a seasoned entrepreneur. I work with the businesses. I have created lots of startup businesses. I'm a co-founder of 41 businesses at the moment, working with different peoples. And when I'm talking about the business, I love working with the people. I love working relations and building relations. And that's the reason I keep on building the brands. For me, a business or a brand is nothing but it is just a vehicle. It could be either Mercedes or it could be Fiat, doesn't matter. It's just a vehicle. It could be taxi, it could be train, it could be bus. What matters is the relation. And that's what I have kept on investing over there. When we have got a strong relation, we can build a relation for lifelong. The vehicles can change. And this is what another thing which I have got over here. I have built fantastic relations with the people over here. Some will be connecting over here for lifelong. Some will find different challenges and different routes. Maybe they will move out somewhere else, but we will still be connected. And that's one great thing which this environment has given. Similar to that, I am a global, CEO of my business groups or my, businesses over here. I'm also a member of Forbes Business Council. A different story how I landed into Forbes Business Council. Even if I was not wanting to, I got into it. But now from last 3 years, I'm part of that particular group. Lots of businesses, most of the time it happens. Now my whole time goes into dedicating, working with the people where I have built a strong relation. Trying to see where they are in their life, where they wanted to be. And then I try to see if I can share my life, my journey, my experience, my knowledge, and my wisdom, which I have earned in last 33 years' time for these guys, where at least if I can help at least one person or 100 people or 1 million, doesn't matter, but if you are able to make a difference. So that's what I'm doing. Very high, track records. I'm not going to say that I have got a track records of building £1 billion of businesses at the moment, but I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge of doing that. I can pick up any businesses from the startups, which I have done since 2012. So by 2012, I started my first venture in 2007. Before that, I did my engagement with the business when I was at the age of 14 with my dad. And from there, I think after I passed my GCSE from age 16 to 24, I supported my dad into his businesses, looked at the entire, customer services aspect of it, looked at the supply chain aspects of it, and from there I got that. But I wasn't called that as a business because that was more of a hobby, trying to go and just see what my dad is doing over there. And that luxury which I got, but at the same time, knowingly or unknowingly, you start listening to this. And this is what happened to me. But when I came, I said my dad's business is very traditional business. He said that get involved over there. I said, no, I don't want to get involved. And I graduated myself into an IT, become an IT graduate, postgraduate, started my first venture, thinking that I'll go to US and become a big programmer or start earning lots of money away from India, where I was initially at that stage. But what happened over a period of time, destiny have got already defined. We are all over here. My destiny was to come here and meet all you guys. That's the reason I came to UK. I started my venture or my first engagement with Johnson & Johnson as a management consultant in 1998. Started working with their, manufacturing firm in Mumbai. And from there, I think I have never looked back. So one of the reasons why I'm over here or what I wanted to do, I think we all have got that power. We can do everything what we want. We have to just, I was saying earlier, that remember that saying from Napoleon Hill, whatever our mind can conceive and we can believe, we can achieve. That's what we are all here for. But what I have observed, and I have got, maybe this is from inheritance from my father, we all are over here and nobody is going to empty stomach every night because we will find some way. But how many people are going to go and think of themselves and thinking beyond? So my reason for being over here, trying to see if I can build relation, help people, is little bit more, little bit bigger than that. I wanted to leave something into this universe which is going beyond me, maybe for next 200 years. And in that, I will find another, person in next 10 generations who can take it forward to another 10 generations, and this circle can keep on going. So that's why I'm creating a charity which is launching in December. I'm creating, that charity is going to create schools, hospitals, and probably from there we'll start to find the underprivileged people who can work globally, whether it's homeless people in UK or it's some people who are not getting education, foods, or basic necessities, providing that information. So it's all about adding some value. It's all about dedicating and making some positive environment, something positive which we can do, and in our own capacity, whatever we can do. So as I said, background-wise, from the age of 14 years, I have been an entrepreneur, working with my dad as a hobby over there. Went into the technology, managed many businesses from there, had extensive experience working with the businesses from very young age in the US, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, and eventually I came to UK in 2004. Over here, I have worked with many businesses since 2007. By 2007 and 2012, I started 6 businesses. Failed in half of, not half, maybe 5 of them. One was success. Lost £250,000, but one which was successful that kept me survive over there and covering all the losses which I was making. So I have never, dissolved any of my property or ancestors' property or taken any money from anywhere. I'm very much forward-thinking guy. I always keep on thinking. Some of the people were, mentioning over here. I wanted to keep that bigger goal, but last time's Property Magic has given much more bigger ways to think about it. I work with the businesses. Property-wise, again, how I came over here is I preferred investing in business. One of my biggest hobby was keep on investing in business, because what I thought was the bigger picture which I want to create, having our own charity. I don't want that charity to be dependent on the government. I don't want that charity to be dependent on the funds which is coming from the donors. I want it to be self-sustaining. How will it become self-sustaining? I think, in my knowledge or in my experience, if we have got multiple ventures and each venture can generate a profit and donate that to charity, it becomes self-sustaining. But one business is not enough, because if you have one business, it's seen maybe one financial crisis, it's gone. So hence I'm creating multiple ventures along with working with people, because people will last longer, whereas businesses can last for a few years. So that's the reason I prefer that. But over here, when I have got some extra fund and I don't find right opportunity, I invest in property. So that's how I was doing as a hobby. It was never a business. I came over here into this property seminar 10 months ago over here, and then what I found as I exposed in September, came here without any intention, but when I looked at the potential, I said to Simon, I want to come again. And in the first time, I think Simon mentioned, and I would like to stress that, and Simon said that in the history of Property Investor Network, it has happened first time when someone is coming just next month again for this one. But the idea was I wanted to go there and try to learn, try to more, because I see the potential of it. And I thought in my mind, I'll combine this knowledge, I'll combine my business knowledge, and maybe I can get an exponential growth over there. And that's what I started doing over here. So looking at all these things, I think, I went into purchasing my first property when I was a call, just, when I was in the course with the first one. Emons is one thing. If you see Emons, it's a commercial venture. It's a commercial property. There's a commercial unit underground, on the ground floor, which is Indian takeaway. And then we had one flat, which was on the top. It came to our options. The owner was looking for £286,000 for both the properties. I think one thing which I have learned over here is negotiation. Negotiate, and one thing which just hit into my mind, which Simon said, be ethical, see how and where you can help someone to try to do that, but at the same time, put the offer which you can, think that this is not a good offer and it is going to be rejected. Now, I don't want to think a lot over there, and hence what I started in my mind, I did a calculation. If someone is saying something, maybe £200,000, I'll put offer straightforward 50% or less than that, and let's see what happens, because I know that's going to get rejected. That is where it all started. So when I got this Emons offer, £286,000 of property, I said to him that, I have looked at your option. Do you know how much this property cost? And they said, £286,000. I said, have you looked at the state of the property? And they said, yeah, it's good property. I said, have a look. I am happy to give you the price which you want, but on the terms which I want. And they said, what do you mean by that? I said, if you can cover all the cost which is there for repairing of the property, and I get the fresh property, I'm happy to give you £286,000. He said, yeah, that's fine. And I said, do you know how much it is going to cost? He said, no. He said, look, what if I do all the cost, I do the proper reparation based on what I want, and you just give me that difference amount? He said, okay, that's fine, let's say what it is. And then I said £130,000 for that property. Now when he looked at that, he got very furious. I'm cutting the story short. We agreed to get that property, whole property, combination of that too, in £160,000 plus VAT over there. So £160,000 plus VAT, we got the property. Actual value at this point of time, the flat top upstairs is £100,000. Commercial property ground floor is £186,000. We have got the total value of 186. 160, 286 minus 160, that's the asset which is sitting at the moment over there. I'm trying to use a fund, create a fund, or trust, which can take this asset, finance it, and make it completely zero value for the property, and then invest that money into the next property. So that's how it is going. Who would like to have, this much cash into their asset on day one? Pretty much all of us. And that's what it comes. But it doesn't stop over there. What it has given me, I have rented out the ground floor in £25,000 per year. And I have rented out the flat on the top in £1,200 pounds per month, which is almost £14,400 per month. So the total value which I'm getting from that property is approximately £34,000 or £38,000. Calculation, probably I'm bad in numbers, but I'm good in strategy. So £14,400 over there. Exactly similar story happened with, another PLO options. This came to the, market. I asked the person, do you want to sell me because I'm not interested in leasehold? She said, no, we don't want to sell it. I said, okay, how about we do a long-term lease? And without telling her, I went to this PLO lease, but I said to her, I'm not interested in 10 year or 15 years lease. If you're happy to give me 50 years, I'll take it. Eventually, from 50 years, initially I started from 70 because I know it's going to be rejected. We got up to the 50, we got 50 years deal, and this is what it is giving me at the moment. So I spent $3,400 the initial deposit for the first two months, breaking it down for the annual payment which I agreed with her. So $3,400 was the cost which is coming for this particular property. Again, we have taken for 50 years, pretty much 15,000 pound I have to pay unless until I buy that, and that's discretionary. She is going to be the first, right to refuse whether I want to buy that property or not. And who doesn't want to buy it? So I'm looking forward that she will come to me saying one day, okay, now you can take the property. But she's not going to do to anyone else because of the PLO agreement. Legal expenses were 1,800 pound over there. Again, after taking the property, we have rented out the ground floor at 25,000 pound, and there is 2-bedroom flat on the top. Converted that to student accommodation. As of now, bringing around 1,200 pound from there per month. So that's again coming the similar amount, 30,000, 34,500, maybe 39,000. I've got wrong calculation over here. Again, as I said, I'm not good in the numbers. Same property, investment 3,400, getting 39,400 over here. This is the third property, and Andrea, I can relate to you going through the auction and purchasing a property over here. This is the property which I purchased from the auction over here. But auction started at 133, and I gave them 186,000 pound. The reason behind that is the next property is my own property, number 53 over there. And that property is being sold or in the market at the moment around 286 to 327,000 pound. So I'm thinking, even if I'm paying 186,000 pound, I'm still having 100,000 pound of asset over there. And that's the reason I picked up this particular property. So all the 3 properties which I have got, it's exactly on the same case. Here I had to spend some money because it was from the auction. So I spent around 42,000 pound or something for renovating these things. But currently it's being rented out to students again, converted to student accommodation and renting it out. Currently I'm getting around 1,400 pound over there. Some of the future deals, I think one deal which Nags was talking about is currently with solicitors. We have done everything. Everything is going ahead with that one over there. And that's kind of, where we are putting £250,000 to just get access to the property, but at the same time convert it for the build in another, 2 or 3, £250,000. And then that whole property will become around £4 million worth value. So that's one thing. I'm working with some of the bigger aspirations, having a property which is of 60 flats and 9 commercial apartments. The deal is already happening in the progress. That's probably going to give me around 35 to 40 million pounds worth of assets once everything is completed, but I'm purchasing again in 18 million pound from there. So that's kind of engagement probably I would have never thought, never taken if I would have not come to this particular asset over here. And as a summary, if you see, again, some of these figures, 39 here it is right, over there it is wrong, over here. So you can see the first case study which I have got in Emons, the total ratio, total ROI of the property is around 23.41. Now once I have taken my mortgage or put it in the fund, this becomes completely free property, and then there is no upfront value into this, which is in progress at the moment, and the return becomes infinite over here. The second one, St. James PLO option, that's doing 758% of options. Who would like to have 758% of return? This is the platform to come, guys, and we are all having over here. Maybe it's now our time to spread the news to other people, saying, come down, that's what it can do for us. And then third one, St. James Road, again 7.6%, but that's because I purchased in cash, and I have not taken the cash out yet. But if suppose we consider that we are going for 75% of mortgage, my return from the Emons will be 81.7%. My return from St. James will still remain 758%. And my case study from Ivy Road will be 27.4%. Don't you think this is fantastic to be in part of this environment? Yeah? My tips, I would say negotiate wisely. That's one thing which I learned from here and from the coming to these programs. Don't hesitate to negotiate on the price and the deal amount. Don't block ourselves. Just keep our minds open. Let's be prepared and be informed that we can secure as many better deals as we can. Plan for the future. It's not just one deal, as Simon was mentioning. Plan for as many, as many deals as we can. Consider the property's potential. Businesses have got the potential, but property have got much more appreciated potential. And that's one thing which changed me coming over here. A property can be aligned with our future goals if we invest it very nicely over here. And my biggest learning, which was, do not buy any property in cash. And if you buy in cash, just get rid of that particular cash element and mortgage it or put it in a fund and get it back again. So with that, thank you very much, guys.
That's it for Santosh. Thank you, Santosh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we found the first person who could speak faster than me as well. But what an inspiring story. And I really admire Santosh because someone who, very successful business person, very busy, global businesses, and still prepared to come and learn a new way. So congrats. Let's hear it one more time for Santosh. Well done, Santosh. Hey, it's Simon here. I do hope you've just enjoyed that video on YouTube. I hope you took lots of notes and more importantly, you're going to take action. And what I'd encourage you to do is click on the link in the description below the video. I've got some live online training that's very relevant to the video you've just watched. Come and register for that training. Join me live online and you can actually get your questions answered live as part of that training. So take the opportunity to come and join me live online, click on the link below and secure your spot before you miss the date. Take action right now. As ever, I encourage you to invest in knowledge, invest for skill. Enjoy the next video.